They say Marines never leave a man behind. But what happens when you're the one left behind, trapped in a bamboo house in rural Laos, with your passport hidden and your family holding you captive? I served 3 tours in Vietnam, survived Khe Sanh, and earned a Navy Cross. None of that prepared me for Kham and her family's version of love. The kind that comes with invisible bars and a life sentence. My name is Ray Thompson, and I retired from the Marines at 55 with my body broken but my spirit intact. 30 years of service left me with shrapnel in my shoulder, a limp from a helicopter crash, and enough medals to fill a shadow box. My pension was decent, $4,200 a month plus disability. Not rich but comfortable. The divorce had been final for 2 years when I decided to visit Southeast Asia. My ex-wife got the house in San Diego. But I didn't care. I wanted to see Vietnam again, this time without a rifle. Travel the Mekong, visit old battlefields, maybe find some peace with the ghosts that still visited me at night. Laos wasn't even on my itinerary. But in Vientiane I met an Australian expat who told me about Luang Prabang. Most beautiful place on earth, mate, he said. And the women, they're different from Thailand or Vietnam. Traditional, family-oriented, loyal. I took the bus north through mountains that reminded me of recon missions 40 years ago. But instead of watching for ambushes, I watched the sun paint the jungle gold. Luang Prabang was everything promised. Ancient temples, French colonial architecture, and the mighty Mekong flowing like liquid bronze at sunset. I met Kham at the night market. She was selling hand-woven scarves, her fingers working the loom with practiced precision. When I stopped to watch, she looked up with eyes that seemed to see right through my tourist facade. "You were a soldier," she said in careful English. It wasn't a question. "How did you know? The way you stand, the way you watch people. My father was soldier too, Pathet Lao. I should have walked away. Her father fought for the communists while I was dropping napalm on his comrades. But something in her directness intrigued me. We talked until the market closed, then continued over beer lao at a riverside restaurant. Kham was 32, widowed with no children. Her husband had died in a logging accident 3 years earlier. She lived with her extended family in a village 2 hours outside the city, coming to Luang Prabang weekly to sell textiles. Her English was limited but earnest. Learned from tourists, and a battered dictionary. "Why you come Laos?" she asked. "Looking for peace," I said honestly. "Peace is not place," she replied. "Peace is people." For 2 weeks, I extended my stay, meeting Kham each market day. She taught me basic Lao phrases, showed me hidden temples tourists never found, introduced me to sticky rice and jiu bong. I taught her marine cadences that made her laugh, and shared stories of America that made her eyes widen with wonder. "You should meet my family," she said one evening. "They want to know the American who makes me smile again." The village was exactly what you'd imagine. Bamboo houses on stilts, water buffalo in the roads, children who'd never seen a white person up close. Kham's family compound housed 23 people across 4 generations. Her father, the old communist soldier, studied me with eyes that had seen too much war. "You kill Lao people?" he asked through Ham's translation. "I killed enemies," I replied. "War makes everyone enemies." He nodded slowly. "War is over. Now we drink together." The Lao Lao rice whiskey burned like aviation fuel, but I matched him shot for shot. By evening, I was Uncle Ray to a dozen children and accepted as a strange but harmless addition to their world. Kham's mother fed me like I was starving. Her sisters giggled behind their hands, and her brothers challenged me to arm wrestling matches they let me win. "Your family is beautiful," I told Kham that night as she walked me to the village guest house. "Family is everything in Laos," she said. "Without family, we are nothing." I stayed a week in the village, fixing a water pump with skills I hadn't used since motor pool duty, teaching English to eager children, and falling deeper under Kham's spell. She was nothing like the bar girls in Thailand or the hustlers in Vietnam. She worked hard, cared for her elderly parents, and never asked for money beyond what I paid for her scarves. "I go back America soon," I said on my last night. "I know," she replied sadly. "I will miss you, Ray. Come with me." The words surprised us both, but once said they felt right. I was lonely. She was lonely. and together we were something else. Something better. Cannot leave family, she said. But you could stay. The logistics seemed impossible at first, but my pension would go far in Laos. I could rent a house in the village, live simply, be part of something real instead of dying alone in a VA hospital someday. The more I thought about it, the more it made sense. I flew back to San Diego, sold my truck and motorcycle, put my few possessions in storage, and returned to Laos with a 1-year visa and a heart full of hope. Kham met me at the airport with tears of joy. Her family welcomed me back with a feast that lasted 2 days. We married in a traditional Lao ceremony that involved strings tied around our wrists, chanting monks, and enough Lao Lao to float a destroyer. I wore traditional Lao clothes that made me look like a giant white elephant, but Kham said I was handsome. Her family built us a small house on the compound, nothing fancy, but clean and ours. The first year was paradise. I learned to farm sticky rice, tap rubber trees, and fish with bamboo traps. My marine pension made me wealthy by village standards, and I gladly contributed to family needs. Medical bills, school fees, a new roof for Kham's parents. I started teaching English at the village school, becoming teacher Ray to a generation of kids who wanted to learn about the world beyond their mountains. Kham got pregnant 6 months after our wedding. Watching her belly grow with our child filled me with joy I hadn't felt since my own kids were born decades ago. When our daughter arrived, a perfect mix of east and west, we named Marley. I thought my life was complete, but paradise has a way of showing its thorns. It started small. Kham's brothers began borrowing money more frequently, first for legitimate needs, sick buffalo, broken equipment, then for less clear purposes. Business opportunities that never materialized, debts to people I'd never met. When I started saying no, the atmosphere changed. Family help family. Am would say when I complained. This is Lao way. I'm helping, I protested. But I'm not a bank. You have so much. We have so little. Why you not share? The requests escalated. A cousin needed a new motorcycle. An uncle wanted to start a tour business. Kham's sister's husband had gambling debts. My monthly pension, which had seemed so generous, was disappearing faster than water in sand. I need to manage our money better, I told Kham. Maybe open a bank account in the city. No need, she said quickly. I manage for us. You trust me, yes? I did trust her. But I also noticed my passport had disappeared from where I kept it. When I asked, Kham said she put it somewhere safe. Many thieves in village, she explained. Better I keep for you. The first time I tried to retrieve it, she couldn't remember where she'd put it. The second time, she said her brother had it in his safe in the city. The third time, she cried and asked why I wanted to leave her. I'm not leaving, I assured her. I just want my passport. If you're not leaving, why you need? The logic was circular and impenetrable. Gradually I realized I was trapped, not by walls or weapons, but by love, fatherhood, and a family that had closed around me like a gentle fist. My movements became monitored. Trips to the city required family escorts. For your safety, they said. My phone developed mysterious problems that prevented international calls. Letters to the embassy went unanswered. I later learned they were never mailed. When I confronted Kham directly, she would cry. Accuse me of not loving her, of wanting to abandon Mali. The entire family would gather, speaking rapid Lao I couldn't follow, while Kham translated selective portions that painted me as ungrateful and selfish. We give you home, family daughter, her father said through her. Why you want leave? I don't want to leave, I insisted. I just want my freedom to choose. You chose when you married. Now you are Lao family. Lao family, stay together. The American embassy was in Vientiane, 6 hours away. The first time I tried to go alone, Kham's brothers stopped me at the bus station. Too dangerous for foreigner travel alone, they said, escorting me back. The second time I made it to the capital but found Kham's cousin waiting at the embassy gates. He'd been called ahead, warned of my arrival. Uncle Ray, he said loudly, I come to help you. What you need here? With him watching, I couldn't explain my situation to the embassy staff. I managed to whisper to a marine guard that I needed help. But without my passport, and with my nephew assuring everyone I was just confused, they could do nothing. Sir, are you here of your own free will? The consul asked carefully, with Kham's cousin recording on his phone. What could I say? Yes, just need passport replacement. We'll need documentation, proof of identity, and your wife will need to verify the loss. Back in the village, Kham was furious. You try to leave us. Leave Mali. What kind of father are you? That became the weapon. Our daughter, Mali, was 2 now, a beautiful child who called me Papa in English and Pho in Lao. The thought of leaving her was agony, but staying was becoming unbearable. My pension still arrived monthly, but I never saw it. Kham managed all finances, giving me small amounts for beer or cigarettes like an allowance. When I protested, she'd remind me of all the family had done for me. All the expenses of raising Mali. All the future costs of keeping me comfortable in old age. You're holding me prisoner, I said one night after another failed attempt to recover my passport. Prisoner. Kham laughed bitterly. You live in nice house, have beautiful daughter, family who love you. You know what is real prison, being widow in Laos with no money, being old with no children to care for you. I save you from that prison. The worst part was the gaslighting. But when I complained about restrictions, the family would point out how free I was. Free to walk anywhere in the village. Free to teach at the school. Free to join family celebrations. When I mentioned my passport, they'd act confused. Hadn't I asked them to keep it safe? When I wanted to contact my American children, they'd remind me of how those children never visited, never called, had abandoned me. We are your real family now, Kham would say. We will never abandon you. 3 years, that's how long I've been in this velvet prison. My Marine brothers probably think I'm dead. My American children stopped trying to contact me after emails went unanswered. Emails I never saw. My pension keeps flowing, supporting not just my immediate family but an entire extended network I never agreed to sustain. I've become the village's pet American, trotted out for visiting officials, proof of international harmony. They dress me in traditional clothes for festivals, take photos of me teaching English, use me as advertising for the authentic village experience. I smile because Mali is watching. I comply because resistance only brings tears and guilt and family meetings where I'm the villain. The physical prison of Khe Sanh was easier. There, the enemy was clear, the walls visible, the goal simple, escape or die trying. Here, the prison is made of obligation, manipulation, and worst of all, genuine affection. Kham does love me in her way, she just loves what I provide more. You promise to stay forever. Lao family. I promise to be your husband, I counter. Not your prisoner. Same thing, she says with a smile that no longer reaches her eyes. Last month, a new English teacher arrived in the neighboring village, a young American veteran teaching through a volunteer program. When he visited our school, I slipped him a note. Contact us embassy. Ray Thompson, Marine veteran held against will. Passport stolen. Need help. He looked at me strangely but nodded. That was 6 weeks ago. No help has come. Maybe he thought I was crazy. Maybe the note was intercepted. Maybe the embassy doesn't care about old Marines who got themselves into stupid situations. So I remain. Every morning, I wake to the sound of roosters and Mali's laughter. I eat sticky rice with the family, teach English to eager students, and pretend this is the life I chose rather than the life that chose me. Kham sleeps beside me, one arm always touching me as if I might evaporate in the night. The Mekong flows past the village, carrying everything to the sea. Sometimes I stand on its banks and remember floating down this same river on patrol boats, young and dangerous and free. Now I'm old and tame and trapped by kindness that kills as surely as bullets. They say Marines never leave a man behind, but I left myself behind the day I handed over my passport. The man who fought at Khe Sanh would be disgusted by the man who let a 5-foot-tall woman and her family turn him into a wallet with legs. But that Marine didn't have Mali, didn't have a daughter who runs to him calling Papa with pure joy, didn't know that love could be both salvation and damnation, that paradise and prison could share the same coordinates. Paradise or prison, in my case, it's both. The bars are made of guilt and obligation. The guards are people who claim to love me. The sentence is life, or at least until my pension runs dry. And the worst torture. Some days I'm not even sure I want to escape anymore. My name is Ray Thompson. I'm a decorated Marine, a father, a husband, and a prisoner in paradise. If you're reading this, learn from my mistakes. Love shouldn't require surrender. Family shouldn't mean captivity. And never, ever, give up your passport to anyone who claims they're keeping it safe. Semper Fi means always faithful, but faithful to what? To whom? And at what cost? I used to know the answers. Now I just watch the Mekong flow and teach English and hold my daughter and pretend that this beautiful prison is home. Maybe it is. Maybe that's the worst torture of all.